Hello and welcome to GFCweekly for anything and everything to do with the Geelong Football Club. My name's Nick Geisen and this is the silly season. The silly season will be, time permitting, a weekly video throughout the off-season where I'll cover all of the Geelong news and rumours and give my personal take on the issues at hand. You can follow me on Twitter at GeisenN to join in the discussion and give your own suggestions on what I should discuss in the silly season each week. There's a link in the description to follow me there. Now, it is the silly season, and one of the main factors in me starting up this weekly edition so early in the off-season is the amount of fans I've seen doubting, ridiculing, and crucifying club decisions. I almost feel like I need the chance to address what people are saying and explain why the club are making these decisions. First cab off the rank is probably the most extreme of the lot, and certainly doesn't represent the majority, but it's worrying nonetheless. Our good friend Jack has sent in, "Okay, I've had enough of all you twats. You've gotten rid of Chappie, J-Pod too. I've decided Collingwood would be a better football club to support instead of you twats." Thanks for the question, Jack. I think I speak on behalf of all Geelong supporters when I say,
hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack.
thanks to Ray Charles for that one. On a more serious note, a fair chunk of the supporter base are very unhappy with the club at the moment. Here's one example, and I've seen literally thousands like it, of a supporter who's not keen on the list management strategy. Mick says, "I think they are making some incredibly stupid decisions. These are proven and tested players who've shown the ability to perform at the highest level." He goes on to express his concern that the replacements for these players won't be able to stand up at AFL level. The club are in the middle of a rebuild, Mick. Not many people realise this, but 2011, our most recent premiership, was the first year of decline for the Geelong Football Club. 2 years on, we're just about smack bang in the middle of a transition stage. It's crucial that we get games into our youngsters now, rather than continuing to play our 32-year-old veterans until they run out of legs. We've actually got a backlog of youngsters in these positions. Small forwards, tall forwards. Lots of people are saying, why are we getting rid of Chapman, which is likely to happen? Why have we just got rid of Podsiadly? Why are we getting rid of Josh Hunt? I think Josh Hunt there is the obvious one, where Cameron Guthrie has really stood up and, taken that position from him. But in the form of Chappie, Murdoch, Smeds, Menzel is injured. They're the ones standing up for that position. They haven't really shown that much. But it is vital, with so many of them there, that we give them the opportunities to show that. They're not going to shine if we don't give them chance at AFL level. For Podsiadly's position, we've got Vardy, Kirsten and Walker, and even Blitzarves all competing for that position. That's 4 forwards. They don't fit into one position. Vardy, when he's been given that position, he's really shown a lot. I think it was against St Kilda, he booted 4 goals when he was put in that spot. Shane Kirsten, people have been calling all year for him to get a call-up, but as soon as Chappie is the one, or Podsiadly is the one that's possibly going, they don't want him to play. Kirsten needs game time. Josh Walker has shown glimpses, but again, he's not getting the game time. These players, as I said before, they will leave if they don't get these game time. They're not just going to hang around and play a VFL for the next 3 or 4 years. Players don't want to be depth players, they want to be first-team players. That's why we really want to show that we want them here. And we really don't want to end up like a club like, St Kilda or Brisbane. St Kilda, I say, because they were up there with us 2010, 2011. They put all their eggs in the 2010 basket, clinging on to that premiership window, and look where they are now. They're probably favourites for the wooden spoon next season. And Brisbane I mentioned because they've got all these youngsters who are just a mass exodus from the club. I don't know if that's because it's an interstate club and they want to come back to Melbourne or Sydney or whatever, but they've got so many youngsters. If they don't play those youngsters, they're obviously going to leave, and that's what's happening there. Now, moving on to gone, where I'll cover everyone who's either gone or looks to be gone at the moment in the off-season. Josh Hunt is first up. He's gone. Turns 32 next year. Cam Guthrie, as I mentioned, has really taken his spot, and it's become obvious throughout the season that he's really surplus to requirements. He's been almost a legend of the club, but it's probably time for Josh Hunt, and I think that was the right decision. Podsiadly, who we talked about just before, recently turned 32. Played a lot in defence this year, and as we mentioned, Kirsten, Walker, Vardy coming up, they really need to make the next step and take that position. Ryan Bathy and Cam Ederle, a couple of people are surprised about these ones. These were rookies who have now been delisted, told they're not required. Bathy was a great mark. I went to the VFL Grand Final. I was really impressed with what I saw from Bathy, but obviously the club has decided that Ryan Bathy and Cam Ederle, aren't required next season. So good luck to them in the future. Now to going. Chapman and Joel Corey. Paul Chapman looks like he's almost certainly gone. He's been linked to Richmond. Met with Chris Scott. I think they offered him a 10-game contract, was the rumour. Not sure how much truth there is to that. It sounds like Chappie thinks he's still got a full year or two left, and I really don't think Geelong can give him that. With Murdoch and Smeds coming up, Menzel, he'll be back. We all know he'll be back when he recovers from that injury. They all want his position, and as I said, the youth policy, there's no room for Chapman there. Joel Corey, he'd play next season if he didn't retire. This one's really up to him. All the other ones have been sort of club decisions, but Joel Corey seems more like his call. He looks extremely unlikely to play next season. Probably 90% gone, I'd say. I'd be very surprised if we see him playing. But, I'm sure the club would still love him to stick around. George Holland-Smith and Jordan Scroder would probably interchange with him if he was to play on next season. But at this stage, it does look like he's gone. The last one probably staying is Corey Enright. Boris looks extremely likely to play on for one more year. And with the mass exodus in other positions, I really doubt that the club are preparing to get rid of, or if he is planning to retire. I imagine he's told the club that he wants to play on, and they plan to sign him up very soon. Moving on to some trade news, and I stress that these are rumours. Nothing of this is certain, and obviously nothing of this will be finalised until, at least Friday when free agency starts. Stephen Wells in the past, he's really shuffled the pack with draft picks, and it looks like he could do the same this year. I think our first pick is pick 15. We've been rumoured to be looking for Darcy Gardner at pick 15, who's the best key position defender in the draft, and he would be a great addition to the side. But there's every chance that Wells could use some of the fringe players to sort of trade and improve our draft picks, improve by sort of 3 or 4 picks in the draft of this quality. That could be a great advantage. First one is Trent West. With Nathan Vardy, Mark Blitzarves really took his position off him this season. The match committee showed that they don't think he's good enough to be in our best 22. By playing Mark Blitzarves especially, that's a real slap in the face to Trent West, and I really doubt he will want to stay in the club next season after that happened. Obviously, there's Hamish McIntosh and Dawson Simpson. They're both better than everyone I've just mentioned. So I really doubt that there's a spot for Trent West. I'm not sure if he's been linked with anyone as of yet. GWS was mentioned, but they've got Shane Mumford now, so I really doubt he could go there. I'm not sure if there's a club that would want him, but if there is, throw him in a package for a trade to slightly improve our draft picks. That would be great. Taylor Hunt's name has been mentioned. I'm not sure how much truth there is to this one. It's strange because he's probably required next season. One area we're really lacking is a tagger. I'm not sure if the club are looking to, trade in a better tagger, or I'm not sure. But Taylor Hunt's name has been mentioned, so look out for that one. Both are contracted for next season, but that doesn't usually mean much if either the club or the player really, really wants out. You don't want to hang on to a player that wants out. He's not 100% committed to the cause. Mitch Brown's a good example there. He requested a trade last year, and I think he played 1 game this season, so it's hard to see how he fits into the club's plans moving forward. As far as incoming players, I should say, goes, Heath Shaw has been the big one that's been linked. He's met with quite a few clubs. I'm not sure if he's actually met with the Cats or if he's just been linked in the media, but he's certainly been heavily linked. Personally, I wouldn't want him. He sort of has the baggage with him where he's contributes to a bad culture at the club, which is why he's leaving Collingwood. And I know many people know, Steve Johnson and Cam Mooney back in 2006, they had a lot of issues with that. We don't want to go back down that path. He's certainly a great player, but having said that, I don't even think there's a spot in the side for him. With our all-Australian backline of Andrew Mackie, Harry Taylor and Corey Enright, Cam Guthrie's cemented his place at the back pocket. Jared Rivers in the other back pocket. You've got Tom Lonergan at full back. Where would Heath Shaw play? I strongly doubt the club would be after him. The only way I could possibly see they would be looking to get him is if Corey Enright was to retire, which looks unlikely, as I mentioned before. Last of all, it's the club's best and fairest tonight, the Cargie Greaves Medal. Kicks off at 7 p.m. There's a link in the description to a live video stream, which is actually a first for the club. They're streaming the whole event live to their fans, which is a really good initiative. Tom Hawkins won it last year, but I really doubt he'll win it this year after the season he's had, struggling with back troubles. Joel Selwood looks very likely. Matthew Stokes has a chance. Harry Taylor's been solid in defence. Stephen Motlop kicked 44 goals up forward. And Corey Unrad, as I mentioned, was All-Australian. So very exciting night for the club there, and good luck to all the stars of the club. And that's just about all we've got time for here in the very first edition of the silly season. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. Hoping to get Josh Rickard from AFL Season Information and Off-Season News on at some point. He's an Essendon supporter, but he's got a great footy brain, and he's sure to contribute to the discussion well, so hope to get him on soon. Once again, you can follow me on Twitter, @GuysandN. There's a link in the description. Thanks for watching, and go Cats!